all the way down to team 45 and 46, that position will be decided on the field. So
yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's there's a lot of pride. Obviously, you're wearing your country on your chest, and for the next 4 years building your program, it certainly means a lot where you finish.
So we've had the national anthems as we get the lineups ready to go. Hope you enjoy the coverage here at ESPN Plus and ESPN Select in the UK and Europe. Remember, all these games will be available not only live online but also on demand. So France will be attacking the goal right to left, and Uganda, it's the first time I've seen them in this tournament, but already it's their 5th game. It's only the 4th game for the French team. It's great to see all the French team here. I'm sure one or two of them may have been celebrating last night. I know if England had won the World Cup. Of course, the French have actually, they've won it recently, so it may not be the...
It looked like they're
getting used to it.
Yeah, the celebration still looks strong.
And we're away. Good pick-up on the wing by number 12 for France. That's Lester Salmins. That ball came off Uganda, so they will retain possession on the sideline. Again, the first 5 minutes of each of these games seems to be the most aggressive, most action, as both teams feel each other out.
I'd agree. It's you got a lot of emotion, especially coming from your national anthem, and great take. So I think managing your nerves is and finding your team's rhythm is important.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's getting your team up for a game. I don't think there's any problem with this French team today as they're beating out the national anthem with pride.
Yeah.
There may be a control issue will actually calm them down a little bit.
Sure.
As Uganda take possession for the first time on offense.
Doing a nice job to get a touch, find the right guy here.
And a good backdoor skip pass there, to the corner, to 23. That's Liberty Twisme. And that one goes astray. Number 18, Patrick Oriana, couldn't control that one. The Ugandans have probably some of the coolest kit going, but the multi-striped numbers may well be a bit of a challenge. Your eyesight's a lot better than mine.
I agree. They definitely are. Definitely are looking good.
Styling. This is Dominic Sandy. He's from the Spencer Lacrosse Club in the UK in London. They've won the Southern League and the Southern Flags a number of times. Coached really successful, a number of Northern Exiles. Dominic is also a graduate of Sheffield University, of which I can say I'm a proud alumni. Again, a few early nerves. Pass just went astray. Again, good cover. Raises his stick up, and a good, solid hit by... is that number 10 or 18?
Number 10, yeah.
That was Jeffrey Anwar for Uganda. There was actually a roster change later on. Number 16 and number 9 are actually swapped numbers. So 16 is actually Regan Ochan. Nice step inside. Almost a little box skill there, going one-handed. But as he hung the stick out, just got taken away. Good defensive play.
A lot of back and forth. I'd be curious if France tries to slow it down here, get a possession.
It was Dylan Snyder and Dominic Sandy up top. Looks like they're playing all deuces, or all the twos. So 2 men on the crease, looking to cause havoc and set picks. And good save there. Now the Uganda goalkeeper. to Alan Amon. Again, full cross-field pass by the defenders. That's excellent riding by France. That's the pass you want to make the defence make on the clear. Get long stick to long stick, the full width to the goal. It's amazing the number of times you can benefit from that. This time, bit of a bounce pass. Let's see if you can control it. Yeah, works out.
Great.
16 on the ball, which I believe is Regan Ochan. A bit of a stutter step.
Great take.
And an excellent skip pass again. This time it goes through. The assist by number 11. It's a high five from his coach. Finished by number 7, I believe, was it?
Looks like number 11 actually from 17. Those strike numbers are a little tough. 16 with the goal.
16 with the goal is, so it's Regan Ochan with the goal, with the assist from Alan Amon.
16's been all over the field. That's great to get him on the board early.
He's actually one of the youngest players on this Uganda team. Just 17 years old, according to the program.
That's impressive. 17 years old playing in the World Championships. There's a lot of men on this field, and 17 getting the first goal, that'll put some hair on your chest.
Definitely. Also attract some attention from the French defence going forward. I believe there is one younger player here. I think it's from the Chinese Taipei. Actually have a 16-year-old.
Wow.
So yeah, welcome to senior lacrosse at the World Championships.
Absolutely.
But fantastic opportunity for him going forward. He could potentially have another 4 or 5 championships.
Wow.
I think this is our man number 16 again, Regan Ochan. Good pressure behind midfield defence by the French number 27.
Great stop by the French goalkeeper there.
Again, the bounce shot seems to be the shot of de rigueur. That's my token French. But the most popular shot so far, the bouncer, a lot of them go over the cage, but as long as you keep the man near the back line, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest cheat codes in lacrosse is you can try to score and get the ball back.
Wow! Shiny shoes, fluorescent orange shoes.
Looks like number 13.
Good 18 yards out on that shot. So yeah, 13. It's Kasiro Onen. Kasiro is a 30-year-old attack man. Looks like he's running some midfield as he came off to the bench straight away. And strolling on the sidelines.
That's a real nice shot there.
Again, high bouncer. We have Johnny Christmas, which hopefully will be a name you're familiar with.
Of course.
He was the earliest recruit in his draft class at UVA. And some may say was actually started the early recruiting trend. And also came up with the national championship in 2003. And outstanding performance by Tillman Johnson in the final against Johns Hopkins. So there's a big difference between playing in front of 40,000 at the M&T Bank Stadium as it was then. Little swim move. This is again 13. Oh, ankle breaker. Oh, unfortunately, good in selfish play. He looked for the pass rather than shooting on his lefty. Just a bit short. That was, again, I think we'll be saying his name a lot, Kasiro Ochan. Kasiro Onen, sorry. Good save.
And the Uganda offense is starting to really hit the rhythm, getting a lot of people involved, different dodgers, different shooters.
Not sure, but I believe that was the first shot on target for France.
Yeah.
Good cut off for the crease for number 7 for France.
It's a great take. That's a great take.
That's Jared Baumeister with the individual goal.
Nice inside roll there and kind of putting the team on his back to get him on the board.
Good bit, almost like a hesitation move.
Definitely.
He looked like he was going to go inside, stopped. The defender relaxed, and then he went inside, so a little bit of an S-dodge. So inside his man, and then came back out to improve his angle, and a beautiful finish. It's a tough ask for the goalkeeper when you're one-on-one from 3 yards, and no pressure on the shooter. I think we can call him a finisher at this point, because that was a great finish.
Absolutely.
So it's Uganda 2, France 1, but that first goal is always crucial, just to break the seal.
Absolutely.
And this is our first media timeout. Score is France 2, Uganda 1. Media timeout. Number 13 for Uganda. Kasiro Onan. Probably the easiest player to spot on the field. He's fluorescent orange. And an amazing individual goal. That's what you need to score if you're wearing the shiny shoes.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic diving goal and literally sticks it underneath the crossbar.
Looking stylish, and that'll get the team hyped up.
As they push the lead out, Uganda 3, France 1. So it looks like they're playing a game every day. Seems to have some benefit. And again, we don't know what the preparation was like for the French team last night after their football side winning the World Cup.
You bring up an interesting point, Dave, because it's on your body, playing every day does take a toll, but in terms of your mind and your skill set, it's really nice to hit that groove.
And decision-making process is really easy. Get up, eat, play lacrosse.
It's kind of the dream.
Yeah, it is the perfect life. Hard work, but I'm sure these guys are absolutely loving it.
I think we all have one eye to when the tournament ends and we have to go back to not doing this. And
yeah, it's almost a period of mourning.
Yes.
Knowing that it'll be 4 years till it happens again. And not only is this the biggest world event ever, it will remain the biggest ever world event with 46 teams. In future events, there'll be a qualification period. So only the top, possibly, I'm not sure if it's 24 or 32 teams will actually make. But so this will not only be a record holder now, but will remain the record holder.
Incredible. Wow.
And another spectacular goal. Individual goals seem to be the way to go so far. Beautiful little face dodge and stepped inside and rode the hit.
It's a great first step. That's a very shifty dodge there and a nice finish. Big goals too, seeing this back and forth, not really letting any team go on a run.
Who scored? And again, it's for France. Excellent individual move and finish. That was Didier Thardin, 22-year-old midfielder. So he's definitely having a great day. Win the World Cup and score a goal for your national team. Again, Alex, one of the great things about this tournament, there's 46 countries, and there may be some fans who are only interested in watching the professional players, the America, Iroquois, Canada, to some extent Australia, but every single one of these players at this event are the best players in their country. And again, being covered by ESPN and available on demand.
Wow, great take. And absolutely, and in terms of the growing of the game, the skill level of some of the players on these teams is really terrific, and the best players on any team could play on any nation here.
It's almost similar to the state, like the hotbeds versus the developing states in America.
Really well put.
There's not only is there like a maturing on getting the right coaches, the right officials, but the most important thing is the level of competition. And for the Uganda players, this will be the highest level of competition probably until they play again in 4 years. Whereas the American, Iroquois, Canadian, I was amazed when the Iroquois missed their flight originally,
right,
or weren't allowed to go on the flight originally, and a lot of them just went straight down to the ILA arena to play box for Six Nations. And another goal of Dominic Sandy. Well worth interrupting. He's celebrating with his teammates. Just a bit of a right-to-right face dodge, or right-to-right split dodge. Stepped off his left foot, got a little bit of hands-free. The bounce shot is, again, the way to go so far.
Yeah, the turf does give a really great bounce, and the biggest thing from a shooter's perspective and goalies is that it changes levels naturally. So the goalie will drop for the low part of the shot, and then the bounce over the shoulder.
It's a timeout, Uganda. A little bit confusion there on the signal as the French players are all setting up for the next play. Obviously happy with the goal, they want to carry on. And exactly the same way the Uganda said, well, I think we'll just have a break now.
Yeah.
You can go and stand out there in the sun if you want, that's all good. Gives the coaches an opportunity. Then the Uganda head coach was actually the Israeli assistant coach. 2 players from Uganda came over to play in the Israeli Premier Lacrosse League. Develops a relationship with the head coach, Pete, I want to say Ginniger, may well be Ginniger, I've not had the Beginnigan. But the assistant coaches, Michael Allen, Jonathan Christmas, the ex-UVA All-Star, and Francis Donald. But literally from being established at 2014, the team is developing, and again, they actually, in their program, say they constantly look for support and development. Storm Trentham is actually here. She's one of the main development for the directors of development with Kenya. But she's actually come over here to support a fellow African team because Kenya can't put a team in this year.
I've had some friends who have gotten close with the Uganda coaches, and it's incredible the dedication of the Uganda players, traveling hours to practice, and for some people, even in the communities, they'll come to the field, young kids, because it's well lit, so viewed as a safe space, so it's really an incredible outlet for the communities.
Exactly, it's bringing people together, and not just forming a group, but with lacrosse, it's such an intense sport that you're building friendships for life. I was chatting to a chap named Adam Wood, who's on the Wales team. Purely been friends on Facebook, one of Uganda players for several years, never met him. And he posted last night the photo of him and his Ugandan teammate, who he's known for 5 years but never met.
So cool.
And as happy as Larry, both of them, he's like, yes! It's almost like pen pals.
It is. It's pretty cool. The international lacrosse community is very tight-knit until we play each other.
Yes.
But then immediately after.
Yeah. For the the 2 hours a game takes.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable shot. That really is quite special.
That's
the long stick, number 33 for France. Who doesn't appear in the program.
That's always a big morale boost for your team when a pole gets a goal, and from a goalie's perspective, it is tough to track that ball out of a 6-foot-long stick there.
15 seconds.
I've done a couple of the French games, and that's by far the best shot he's had, almost from the restrainer, and actually decided to go high to high that time. Using the bounce shot.
2, One, release.
And the penalty is released as France win another face-off. Gets it up top to Dom Sandy, number 10. His father, he actually played for the England team, Marcus Sandy. But his mum is French, so he qualifies to play for France, even though he plays domestically in England. Nice little pass back. A little bit off the mark that time. It's number 50 for France. That's Quentin Norris, the 22-year-old midfield player. So French ball back line. Good pressure by defender. Again, they're pushing out. I was reading online about the Ugandan coach, and he said when he decided to actually coach the Ugandan team, having only met 2 players that came over to Israel, what impressed him most was just not only the sheer athleticism of the players, but the just sheer hunger for knowledge. They were just asking questions all the time and trying to absorb as much as they can. It's amazing in the bios of these players. They asked them, what's your dream? And the number of players said they want to be a coach. One player saying he wants to win the NCAA championship, which again you have to respect. Aim big, shoot for the moon, you might get the stars.
Very cool to hear that the dream is to be a coach, because getting that cyclical nature of players coming up and then wanting to give back into the next generation it's really incredible for the sport.
And it's probably similar in a number of countries, but it's great to see Uganda actually, in their sort of history or bios, they're actually all admitting it. They say, yes, absolutely, it's my dream job.
Yeah.
Mine would be champagne tester or something. Or,
I think we could set that up, Dave.
Ferrari test driver, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do 2 jobs.
Hopefully different days.
Yeah, definitely. Don't drink and drive, folks. Nice pass to X and a cut. This time it's a good save. Quick stick shot on the crease by our man number 13 again, Kesiro Onan. And the biggest difference between college and high school rules and international rules, there is no restriction, time restriction on clears or even a shot. If it's claimed that the team are just stalling and refusing to go to goal, you'll see the referees all echo the same signal, where they'll have one arm vertical, one arm horizontal, make the call of get it in and keep it in. And once the ball has got inside the restraining line, if it comes out again, for whatever reason, even deflection, the ball possession is turned over.
And no width restriction. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave.
There's no box. There is no box. It's purely restraining lines. So the box is American high school and college international rules.
Oh no.
They all play to these fields. 47 for France. Again, after all hard work, a good stop by the Ugandan defence. That's actually Remy Giacotto. Gets the interception, goes in. Again, no defence in front of him. One-on-one with the goalie.
Yeah.
Puts that one away.
That's tough. That's off a broken clear. And if you're Uganda, you got to just make the next play, kind of tighten up mentally.
And that is quarter time. We'll join you after the break. There are actually 99 referees here, each one numbered, so you can identify them. So they're the 3rd team on the field. So they're all here. Again, the best referees in their country. There's a definite accolade to be an official that comes to a refereeing or at a world championship. And obviously all that experience they will take home to their home countries and pass all the information and the latest techniques and mechanics of the 3-man mechanics on the field. Very technical job, the referee. I'll pass on to their colleagues back home.
It's a tough job. You got at least 50% of the game mad at you.
At least 50%. Even if you don't blow the whistle, there'll be one team that's angry about it. I haven't got the thick skin required for that role. Sometimes they have rabbit ears. Sometimes they develop a certain deafness.
Yep. Required skill.
And again, from previous World Championships, the role of the CBO just gets it in both ears because he's the closest one. So even though it wasn't his decision,
sure,
he's the man held responsible.
Both coaches.
It's something they introduced in the Premier League in football in England, and that is definitely the worst job. Having a load of millionaires shouting and swearing at you live on TV.
Yep.
And you have the power to do nothing unless they virtually assault you. Punching bag, I think, is the official title.
Oh.
Here we have number 2 for Uganda. This is Dalton Wadruff, midfield player. It's a pretty cool name, Dalton. Made famous from the Roadhouse movie.
Great movie and great double there by France, but that's a ride.
And again, desperate defending and well covered. French defender gave his body up there, diving full length just to push the dog. Another difference in the international rules, so there's no over and back. So the team took it over the halfway line and then brought it back. There's no problem in international rules. Although I believe that rule is being one of the ones under consideration for change. Obviously, it's not just the players and officials here, but also the international delegates and rule makers and people who actually wrote the rule book. On a beautiful left-handed finish. It was a quick release as much as anything. That was Dominic Sandy to Dylan Snyder, the 25-year-old.
Really great ball movement by France there. You had the initial dodger, kind of sweep with a rollback, and then just bounced it 2 more and a great finish. So France offense is really spreading the ball well.
I believe that pushes it out to a 6-3 lead.
Believe so.
I think what impressed me most there about the shot wasn't so much the power or even the accuracy, is how quick he got it in and out of his stick. So as the goalkeeper is tracking the ball across the top of the goal, didn't have a chance to, get his feet set. The ball was already on its way. So it turns a 60-mile-an-hour shot into a 90-mile-an-hour shot. They just haven't got time to get set. Of course, it helps when it was just under the bar as well.
Yep, placement there was great.
It's a legal procedure on Uganda, and so you'll see all the French midfielders, defensive middies, heading off to the bench as on comes number 15 and number 10. It's 15 is Dylan Snyder, number 10 is Dominic Sandy. So the French are definitely trying to get their main offensive players on as much as possible. A little bit short pitch that time. If it was cricket, went for the bouncer. Just would have been a no ball. Just bounced over the bar. You may get the occasional cricket reference or 80s movies. Slightly dated, but I'll do my best.
80s movies, I'll hit with. The cricket, you can take me to school.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to go to cricket school. Any game that lasts for 5 days and can end in a draw,
wow,
it's not destined for American market.
That is accurate.
As a flag on the plate, reasonably mild-mannered by the official. Was almost like there's a competition for who can toss the flag the highest. We've had some where the flag's actually gone so high it's above the floodlights. So you hear a whistle, but you don't know if there's a penalty or not. So the flag hasn't landed yet.
Well, this will be a big man up here for France. If you're Uganda, you'd love to get a stop. Looks like they're shutting off the pole who scored earlier.
They're going with the box and one. Oh, beautiful little dip and dunk on the crease. And again, even the assist, he steps in as though he's going to shoot, draws two defenders to him and just passes it over that to the man. Don't take a good shot if you can get a better shot. Excellent team play.
30 seconds, 30 seconds. Did you get on field on your own yourself or was someone else?
I believe that was number 9 in attack. Again,
on the finish, it looked like it.
You're the next man.
That's Kevin Bertrand,
15 seconds.
27-year-old attack player for France.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release.
I you can pick that up on the mic, but the number 6, Michael Bahizi for Uganda, was just shaking his head as that goal went in. For some reason, there's always a relief if you get sent off and they don't score.
Sure.
And vice versa, there's that pang of guilt. And another individual goal by number 9 for France, Kevin Bertrand.
A tough part of lacrosse is the momentum and the face-off with the make it, take it. So France exercising that right there, getting a goal, winning the face, and getting another one. So be huge for Uganda to get the ball right here.
Now, for the non-American fans, what exactly is, where does make it, take it come from?
I think it's a basketball reference. If you're playing one-on-one,
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, I've always
anything
wondered.
that rhymes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's a basketball
If the
one-on-one.
glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Wow.
It rhymes.
It does rhyme.
So make it, take it is a basketball reference.
Yeah,
Is that
and France doing it again here, but a little slip-up.
Again, if you've got a dominant face-off man, you really do feel like you're fighting, or if you're going against a dominant face-off man, you feel like you're fighting uphill both ways.
Absolutely.
This time, they lost the face, but they come up with possession. So each possession becomes more precious for Uganda as they try to keep in this game. Some of that initial bounce is just dipping a little bit from the Ugandan team. They need a big play from one of their players, or a turnover. This could be it. Oh, so close. He nearly had the interception. Again, that ball was coming out of the sun. And we've got another long stick fast break.
Great stop.
That was a great stop, and even better with a quick release. Goalkeeping's not just about being a shot stopper. As they call that a loose ball push.
Let's go, Jeffrey, go, set up!
So there's no time-serving penalty. But again, unfortunately, Uganda will lose possession that they've worked so hard to get.
Liberty.
Again, pushing all the way out on the French midfield, all the way to 40, 50 yards away from goal.
Match up.
Each half is 55 yards long. That was pretty near halfway long.
As you mentioned earlier, Dave, the ground is a great bounce, which can be your friend. It can also have a little too much pop and head over.
Real power move here. Did all the hard work when it came to the finish. It's an excellent stop by the Ugandan goalkeeper.
Great outlook. And this is a good time for Uganda.
Suddenly the energy's back. Not only a great save, but like you say, the very quick outlet. Suddenly your first attack player becomes your goalkeeper.
Yeah.
If not only you can stop the ball, but catch it and make a clean save. And all those offensive middies who are enjoying being upfield, suddenly
Absolutely.
have to turn around and sprint the other way, which they're not always keen to. It seems to be uphill, whichever way you're attacking. Downhill attacking, uphill defending.
And, you know, lacrosse field, for folks watching, maybe new to the sport, just as big as a soccer field or a football field. So it's a transition, definitely. You got a 50-yard dash headed your way.
110 yards long, 60 yards wide. Doesn't sound much unless you get 3 or 4 turnovers on the row and you have to sprint in 100-degree heat.
It is hot out here.
With full helmet, shoulder pads, shirt, and then go and do it again. Good knockdown. Excellent defense that time.
Stop all clear! Hydration!
As we go to our second media break. As we restart the possession with French on the ball. Straight away looking to dodge from the wing. Nice defense this time. Nice to turn away and thwart that attack. This is Quentin Norris. 2-16 for France.
It's a nice step down pull right there.
Didier Fardan has already got 1 goal.
Come on, go!
And again, a little bit of just lacking concentration. There's a number of balls on the back line, so even if the ball goes out, you don't actually have to start the game with that ball. So there, the French team were alert, picked up another ball from the sideline, showed the ball to the referee, blew the quick whistle for the restart, and I believe it was Dominic Sandy with the score.
The quick restart is always effective as the defense is still kind of recalibrating and getting set from that last play. There's a nice little opportunity as the French team took advantage of there.
Yeah, as a Syracuse University fan, having watched lots of games at Johns Hopkins with the Stanwicks, who finally there's no more Stanwicks probably at least for a couple of years.
We'll see. There's going to be one that just appears.
But that it's almost like in England we had an expression where the first few yards are in your head. The Stanwicks all the time are whistle ready. So you have them both running out for a backline ball. As soon as if the ball goes past the halfway, they'll just pick another one and have almost a running start.
Yeah.
As the defender's still trying to look whose the call is. It's fantastic play, but as an opponent, you're driving me mad.
Absolutely, and that's a credit to the officials too to be on top of it and allow it.
Completely valid, completely legal, and smart lacrosse.
That's a close. I think that hit might have been okay. It's definitely a powerful one. You know, he might have been a little on the back, but I don't know. I think he got him from even 50-50 on the shoulder. And as the Uganda coaches are yelling, there's an interesting international rule where with this running clock, the penalty doesn't start until the player sits down.
And not only do they have to sit down, but even in this heat, if you're not wearing your helmet and equipment, then the penalty can't start. So again, for those not familiar or adjusting, where you quite often see players come off and just take a knee, that's fine for college and high school. Unfortunately, international rules, and straight away the French, you see them sprinting back to the halfway line. That was Quentin Norris with the goal. Just one pass down from the top right to the right wing. Again, another quick release off stick side high. Thank you very much. Again, it's a running clock in international rules, so you'll quite often see if a team can score in the first 10 seconds, they'll actually burn a timeout, so they can have another 50 seconds. There's no stop clock, because sometimes, if you'd like to now, the clock is ticking all the time. Although, to be fair, on that particular one, it was a technical penalty, so all personal fouls, the 1 minute penalty or more, they're full-time serve or locked in, I believe they use the phrase, where all technical fouls will be released on a goal. May well be, and there it goes. Fine effort on the flag toss.
Come on, keep it ready, please.
Good 35 to 40 feet at least.
A little unlucky there for Uganda. They're playing good D right in front of the crease and just caught a little bit of the helmet.
Great team defense. They had 3 defenders converging on the goal. Unfortunately, we had a defender running to the right of the goal as the attacker was running to the left. And they were literally ships that bumped in the night. But it was a bump of a stick-on helmet, so 1 minute penalty. As they look for exactly the same pass as the last one up, down to Quentin Norris. This time, pass went astray, but they made up for it on the next one. Passed it down to the left post. Is that number 3, I believe?
I believe it might be 8 on the goal.
8. It is 8 indeed.
France is doing a really nice job of spreading the field and hitting the backside.
Great left-handed quick stick finish. That's actually Baptiste Dessoir.
15 seconds left.
So Uganda given some motivation by the coaches there. They're first out on the field as the French have the final last call. Currently it's France 11, Uganda 3. It's nice to see some old school face-off technique. The 1 knee down technique by Greg Gurenlian.
4, 3, 2.
Speaking of the USA-Canada, what a great match last night, and to be expected, a 1-goal game. That's pretty on par with what we've expected from those two.
Again, apparently there's some controversy at the end with a stick check.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but USA held on.
It must have been good. I'm just following a little bit on Twitter. There's no actual access down here to the internet, but there were a number of people saying it was the greatest game they've ever seen.
Wow.
I think the 98 final with the Gates, when there was a 9-goal comeback, was pretty good.
Yeah.
But just the standard of play apparently was just exceptional.
I think both those teams will head to the medal round. I'm rooting for Iroquois to be one of the top 2 as well.
Obviously, in the media, all media there's no cheering in the media room, in the press box. But I think everyone here, if they're not supporting their own team, Iroquois are their second team.
Absolutely.
It's their game.
Well put.
Especially when there was a doubt over them being able to attend. Huge sigh of relief when everyone will get the chance to see the Thompsons, the Stottses, the family connections on that team in attack. Quite exceptional. There's 4 Thompsons and 2 Stotts. And it really is a box of tricks. Hidden ball behind the back, reverse scoop, one-handed.
Really beautiful flow to all of their game.
And are you familiar with the hairstyle that they wear?
Slightly, yes.
All right, the story behind that is actually called a scalp lock. So going back to warrior times of the Native Americans, they would grow their hair long and tie it together. So if someone was looking to scalp them after a battle, they would wave their hair as like a taunting to the opposition. All right, I've made it easier for you to scalp me. Come and get some if you want some. Or if you dare. So it's not just like a fashion statement.
Tactic.
Yeah, it's the warrior, background of saying, well, we're ready. And God knows how long it takes to grow that and to plait it for each game.
Nice possession here by Uganda and a smart move. Gonna get your team back on track.
And just taking a breather a little bit, making sure they can make the most of this possession. We have number 2 on the ball. This is Dalton, Roadhouse fame. may have been called for a late hit. Referees deemed that a fair challenge.
I'm excited for somehow to get Point Break involved.
Is that Kurt Russell or who's the other one that's
Oh gosh, Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, that's the one. And I believe it's Keanu Reeves, or is that a
Yeah, oh
remake?
yeah.
Again, welcome to the 80 Movies Hour. Again, good power dodging, power cradle, backing in and trying to use his force. This time, the Ugandan team draws two defenders, one taking the left shoulder, one taking the right, and they turn him away from goal.
Shall I go on or are you going to go on? Oh, you haven't got a whistle.
Great stop by the goalie there.
I believe that was number 8 again for France.
Yes.
With a low-to-low shot, but left-handed. But again, the goalie was standing tall, and then actually hit just in time. As the teams come out to restart, we're actually 11-3. And Alex, I believe you had a look at some of the stats.
Yeah, well, Uganda came out to a great start, leading off with a 3-1 lead to start the game, and then France really shifted the tide, going on a 10-goal run, bringing us now to 11-3, which is, lacrosse is a game of runs, it's a game of emotional swings, so that's tough. That's tough to come out strong like Uganda did and then face that 10-goal strong run by a French team.
There's a lot of debates. I followed the ESPN Sports Centre and also the podcast where such sports shows as Around the Horn and PTI. Big fan of Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. But again, there's a debate whether there's such a thing as momentum and whether it actually exists or not. I think when you go on a 10-0 run, I think there's a really good argument to yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we were unemotional, then momentum would not exist. But we're very emotional.
Yeah, no machines. This is a passionate sport, full contact. As France, within the first minute of the restart, again put another beautiful goal in. That was number 7 with the assist to, I believe, number 8 with the finish. Again, just a quick pass perfectly into the pocket, the shooting pocket. So it's straight to his stick. Just stepped inside to increase his angle, dodging to the dirt. And only a couple of steps, and then just putting it past the goalie.
And to your point, you know, we're also this is a very skilled sport and a confidence-driven sport. So having faith in your playing, in your stick, in your team chemistry, I think it's a very real thing.
And obviously with the French team, there's a number of players. There's not many club sides, so rather than with Canada, where you could be 2,000 miles away from a teammate, one of the advantages of the smaller nations is that you have those connections at club level. So you could have an attack unit with a midfielder coming down, and 2 of the 3 attackers are all from the same club. So every time they practice with their club side, it's like an international practice.
You're absolutely right. Huge goal.
Unbelievable finish. I'm trying to think of the phrase there. It's like he looked like he was just coasting down the field.
Made it look easy.
But the other people were running backwards next to him.
It's a huge goal by the pole there, number 12, and that's awesome to see. A really great lacrosse play and a great momentum play. I think it exists.
Well, yeah, the long stick scoring, suddenly there was a little bit of a bounce in the Uganda bench. That was Ronald Otim. Full coast-to-coast, 60, 70-yard run. Not just a shot, actually buried it high.
Really did. And to your point about the French team in a tight-knit or a close-distance country, some of these Uganda players are traveling 3 hours to practice, so it's a testament to the dedication and the sacrifice to really grow this game and build the team that they are.
I think it's great that they've got, like I say, the ex-Israeli assistant coach is their head coach.
And he went down and spent 2 months, Coach Ginniger did, in Uganda to really get himself invested in the community, know the players, and grow the game there.
And likewise with Jonathan Christmas, his full title. Incredible athlete, so to actually have the ability to have someone who can not just tell you how it's done, but can show you and break it down exactly what he does.
And then, yep, exactly like what you're saying, really show the proof's in the pudding when he steps up and takes a shot. That'll get a player's ear to listen more.
I can tell people what to do. No chance I can actually show them any longer. Those days are gone. But France managed to thwart that last Ugandan attack. And be interesting to see whether they cool things down again after that initial quick restart. Scoring within a minute, where they want to take some air out of the ball. But again, 22 this time for Uganda. Steps out and actually arrives at the man.
Great stop and nice upfield play. Here's number 12 again. Put it on the wheels.
Oh, what a step. Give this man a short stick.
Yeah.
It just looks like he's jogging down the field and all the other players are running backwards.
Nice little stutter step there.
Tremendous athlete.
And you bring up a great point, Dave, where it's, wow, nice smooth bury there by the French team.
This time number 7 with the finish. And I believe that's number 10, Dominic Sandy from the Spencer Lacrosse Club.
You bring up a great point in reference to number 12 on the Uganda team. The long stick position, LSM, and having a great athlete there really is impactful for your team. You wonder how he might look with a short stick, though.
Just the sheer speed is almost like an optical illusion. Both times, there's not really much dodging involved.
Yeah.
It just seemed to have gone from a different gear. But the little hesitation move on the halfway on, he looked for all the world as though he's going to get crushed by a body check. Next split second, it's gone. It's like 5 yards away.
There's the make it, take it, Dave.
I really must do some more research into
yes.
Make it, take it.
Wikipedia is going to get a spin for that
definitely.
one.
It's like the tic-tac-toe. I believe that's noughts and crosses, is that right?
Is that did we get that one too? Is that American?
It's a Quint Kesnich.
Ah, I see.
On fast breaks where the ball's zipping round, he likes to use a tic-tac-toe. And again, to the European and English audience.
You know what? To the American audience, I think we don't get that one either. But I understand where he's going with it, and it's definitely a beautiful thing to see a fast break smoothly run.
Oh, it is one of the highlights of the sport. See that transition from defense to offense and the ball moving faster than any man.
Yeah.
That's why they put in all the hours of work, because they're running at full speed. It's pinpoint passing, and normally it's not a one-on-one finish, it's a one-on-none finish, where the crease man is one-on-one with the goalie and will pass it cross crease for the quick stick into the empty net. Remember the North Carolina side of 1993? And their transition unit was just unbelievable.
Looks like a high hit there. Maybe they're not going to give him the call, but that hit looked a little high.
I think there's a situation where you probably have an athlete who's 5'8" against an athlete who's probably 6'4", 6'5".
You might be right there.
But yeah, it looked definitely like it could have been called a high hit. As it was, he landed in the crease, so it's almost a double whammy to make it worse. Not only did he not get the foul,
the holy crease. Nothing more revered than that land.
Sacred ground for the goalie in defence. Woe betide any attacker that decides to stray in there. And obviously in these FIL rules, the dive is alive.
It is alive, and it's a beautiful play when done right.
It's embarrassing when it's done wrong. From personal experience, unfortunately, attempting a dive shot in an actual game for the very first time, having never practiced it, dived full length across the crease for all the world convinced it was going to be his goal. Unfortunately, I forgot to take the ball with me.
Oh no.
So in effect, what you've got is someone just dropping the ball and then leaping, sprinting full speed into the crease for no reason whatsoever. It's my one and only attempt.
Just to explore the space, just see what's going on.
It turns out it's good if you practice things in this sport. Don't, well, that looks good. I wonder how that's done. And try it for the very first time in the game.
The crease dive is very effective. You will, as a player, get some knocks for it, though. You're going to get some bruises.
I'm trying to remember his nickname. I believe it's the Big Rig, the ex-Notre Dame goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
The gym monster. He's about 6'5".
You're saying Scotty Rogers?
I am indeed.
Yeah.
And if you dare to do a dive shot v Scotty, it's like diving in. Yeah, it's like diving into a wall, head first. But we're France. Again, 13-4.
Stop.
And again, we have a man down. Out for the referees. Yeah, they blow the whistle to call that. It's the medic. Hopefully that's just a contact injury. I didn't actually see the contacts on the play. I was a little bit after the ball. Normally it's the attack player that gets injured with a late hit. God forbid they got a bad case once in their life.
All right, let me see. Dave Hollow's 9, yeah. So that place is good then.
And again, a power move as you join us back from the media timeout. It's number 7 for France. As Jared Baumeister actually split 3 defenders and went for the one-handed shot. Would have been spectacular if it came off, but just got nudged at the last minute.
Wow.
Great balance.
There's field awareness and body control right there.
I believe that's number 24 for Uganda. That's Martin Komakach. With just absorbed the hit, we're almost walking a tightrope on the sideline. So literally an inch to spare.
Yeah, that was
just
2 guys on him as well.
Yeah. The power and body control just to manage to keep in field. Well played, that man. There's so much natural athletic ability, the balance, the core strength, the speed, the fast feet. It's just the technical aspect of the handling and being able to pass and move at full speed on the run.
And Uganda's tightened it up a bit in this third quarter. It's only 2-1 France in this third quarter, which is a nice morale boost for the team.
Stop both shots, my time. White ball. White ball. Step in 5 yards, please.
Again, there could be a communication issue there. There's a player in international rules, when the ball goes out within the bench area, within the substitution box.
Wow. Great move.
Again, just sheer acceleration. But you have to restart 5 yards away in field from the bench just to stop someone hanging back in the bench and then attacking you from behind. It's a good save again by the French goalkeeper. Managed to keep it out. It's Joseph Varela.
Hey. That was a great dodge and a great shot. You made a nice save.
Some really great coaching going on in the Uganda sideline as well. As much as you want the team victories, and of course you do, there's also the player development, and that's been incredible to see here.
We're actually right next to the coaches in the team benches. One of the coaches there, as the player ran off, disappointed that he missed a shot. And obviously Uganda are down, actually singled out the player that took the shot. It's like, hey, that's a great shot, great effort. It's a great save, no problem. To high five and a pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's like you did everything right. It's,
Lacrosse is just like hockey and some other sports like that, game of inches, where an inch over you're celebrating with your team and enjoying the goal, and an inch to the side and a little disheartening.
It's a make or miss league. Always makes me laugh in the NBA. For all the stats and all the coverage that they have, comes down, it's a make or miss league.
Yeah.
So what, it either went in or it didn't. Yep. Down to a nutshell. Multi-billion-dollar business.
Great split there.
Good turnaround as well. This is the man that walked the tightrope. Draws the penalty.
Great call. Not the highest flag toss, but still a great call.
Yeah, it's an English referee, very conservative. Hopefully he's okay. It was a great little spin move. Reminiscent of a Lyle Thompson move. As a technical penalty is served.
Good to see him jogging off as well. Took a little high hit there.
Heisel inside. 13, guys, 13. Heisel on the crease.
He just took his breath away for a second. Gets his breath back, counts his ribs, makes sure they're all there. And he's good to go.
This would be great to see Uganda put one in here.
So it looks like we're playing 2-3-1 with the upstate New York variety, calling it from the top from the trainer.
An interesting note, you're absolutely right. In lacrosse, it's you're calling your formation sometimes depending on your geography from X, from behind the goal. Other places you call it from up top.
It literally is a case of when you get in these coaching handbooks, which you can draw all the plays. If it's a V, or if it's a little hat, this is the roof of the house. And if it's a V, then you're reading down the page, which makes perfect sense. If it's a little house, the roof of the house, then it's like, well, of course you call it from behind. Although that is third-hand information, I have been wound up. Coaching convention, and again, it would just do my head in. It's like, exactly what do you mean? And it varies who you speak to.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm one of the veteran coaches there of many conventions. Basically gave me the inside scoop.
You know, we referenced basketball earlier. Sometimes, lacrosse is often equated to hockey and football, but really the way an offense and defensive runs is really similar to basketball. Possession sport, you have picks, you have dodgers, split dodging. So you'll see a lot of similarities in offenses and defenses to basketball.
The elusive motion offense, Coach Phil Jackson. The triangle. Of course, it helps if you have either Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan on your team. For some reason, it works better when you have a all-time superstar. But you're absolutely right. If you want to learn the strategies and the techniques, it's very similar to basketball, even more so to box lacrosse, because both of them are a 5x5 game, and it's all about ball movement and setting off ball picks and screens. And again, it's that clearing opposition, just good timing by the attack player for France, intercepted the pass, and suddenly all the defenders were upfield, left one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and I believe that was number 9, the left-hander on the far side in attack.
I believe so. And the riding and the clears, it's such an impactful part of the lacrosse game. It can be the thankless between the lines, but oftentimes can result in a lot of good possessions and a lot of broken plays with goals.
And again, it's so deflating as a defense, is you do all the work to actually stop the opposition, and then just one pass out of straight, and suddenly you're faced with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So great hands by it's number 9, Kevin Bertrand.
Great
tremendous first step.
And a great shot. And that's good to see. And, again, as we said, the cheat code with lacrosse, you shoot. If you miss and get back up, you get the ball right back. So it's it's good to take those kind of shots.
Yeah, it actually contradicts the make or miss league, because when you miss, actually you can keep the ball and have another go.
Yep.
I can't remember which podcast it was, but one of the differences they spoke about trying to promote the hesitation move, and it's the equivalent of picking up your dribble in basketball, so that you can go again. And obviously that's illegal in basketball. Once you've picked up your dribble, you have to move the ball and use your pivot foot.
It's a great point.
But in lacrosse, it's like, well, actually, if it's legal and illegal in a different sport, well, you should be doing it more.
Yeah, and another effective piece of that, that goes right into the redodge, which oftentimes you'll dodge, a slide will come, and if you back off, that slide will back off as well. So if you redodge, you're kind of going into open space.
It really is an arms race on the strategy between the offense and defense.
Absolutely.
And General Tierney at Princeton and now at Denver basically came up with a defensive scheme with the early slide from the crease, splitting the field in half, that dropped the average goal per game by a ridiculous amount, where suddenly everyone could play defense. Made it so simple and so easy that the decision making, it was purely an athletic standard that made the difference, because all that time taken with the decisions, you just play to the system, you don't have to make a decision. Everyone knows exactly what they have to do. Don't get beat topside.
Yeah.
And the slide comes from the crease.
You're so right. And what's such a cool thing about lacrosse, and to people new to the sport, is it's still evolving and growing. So as Dave mentioned, Coach Tierney with the defense, and up until a couple years ago, you would get benched if you didn't shoot from high off your shoulder, overhand. And then enter Lyle and Mile Thompson, and they revolutionized the game because they scored goals in creative ways that usually would get a player pulled from the field. So it's a really exciting time in lacrosse where people are rethinking it.
And again, this falls into the category of, like behind the back shooting. It's like a great way of getting benched immediately. It's seen as like coaches can be very conservative, but suddenly if a player comes along who can finish that shot consistently, it's like, well, the unorthodox actually works better than the orthodox.
Absolutely.
I'm from an era with the Gate brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Marachek, John Zilberti at Syracuse, and obviously then the Powell brothers. And the behind the back wasn't seen as like a hot dog move. It's like, well, of course you're going to go behind the back.
Effective.
30 seconds! 30 seconds!
30 seconds. Called by the time officials. Let both coaches know. This is number 15. Great feed to the crease. I believe that was a kick save by Joseph Varela.
Uganda is doing an outstanding job of dodging, drawing a man, and moving it. It's tough to handle a feed on the crease and finish. But they're doing a great job of creating offense.
It was in Rockport in Poland, but the next one is in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's going to be a men's and women's tournament. And again, this is why a lot of the new rules, they're trying to bring men's and women's closer to shared rules. It's a huge barrier to try and separate the sport where the games of men's and women's are so different. Equipment, having contact, sticks, basically everything.
That makes sense with the face-off thing, that you can have face-off different places.
For the women's game, that's one of the reasons they got the stop on the whistle. And welcome back here to the Field 6. Dave Hallows on play-by-play, joined by Alex Weber.
Just in case, we think like, it's like
14-4 here, heading into the fourth, and it's a great morale if you get that 5. That goal 5 somehow just feels a little different.
I said just in case.
It's like a mental target of 1 goal a quarter. Seems almost like not worth the effort. Well, as soon as you crack over that, It's like a mental barrier.
Yeah.
It's like, well, actually, yeah, we got 5. I'm sure that Uganda, tremendous level of fitness and speed, will be pushing hard. The result may not be in doubt at this point.
And that looks, yeah, great call, because that's a push with possession. So incredible effort there by the Uganda number 9. And now they're on man up, which is, hey, we can get that 5, start off the 4th quarter, headed the right way.
And again, this is all, it is a marathon, not a sprint. So every little bit of finishing off a game well will take them into tonight and tomorrow morning when they have another game. Will be like a little bit more positive, and it's like, right, let's take that energy into the game. Number 9 for Uganda is Kenneth Sazi, 27-year-old midfield player. Not sure if that was tipped or not as the ball goes towards the end line. Good hustle again by, he's beaten for speed. And just, there it is, the man-up goal. The ball looked like it was going to bounce out of bounds. Sprinted full speed to win the ground ball, and a burst of speed to beat his defender. He drew the second defender and literally just turned around and threw it back for a good outside shot.
That was beautiful lacrosse right there.
It's number 18 with the finish. That's Patrick Oriana.
We're neutral in the box here, Dave and I, but we got a little excited on that goal too. That's beautiful lacrosse. They got that 5th goal. Start off the 4th quarter strong, so Uganda's looking good.
Again, on the coaching front, that was all on the man up, where a penalty where a Ugandan player got double teamed and got, it was called a push in the back. May have even earned a full 1-minute penalty for a takeout in the back. But when the coach, who was right next to the play, when the player came off, actually gave the player a hug, which was just, again, it's the relationship. It's like, almost like you can build that family feeling in a team.
Absolutely. There's something about when you involve the sweat and the bruises where you get real close real quick.
Again, there's a bit difference between a team of individuals and just a team of players playing together and being unselfish. Suddenly the trust between players and hustle know that all your teammates have got your back. There's a real confidence and that will to win. Suddenly you're protecting your family. There's an extra, like 10% of energy comes from somewhere.
Definitely. Absolutely right. Even Tony Kornheiser, they might have issue with what we're saying, but the emotional element is huge in this sport.
As a timeout wait. Just as a reminder, the refereeing crew, who are all here working just as hard, 99 of them are covering 170 games in 10 days. They'll sleep well when they get home. The head referee is Bill Doherty from the USA. He's wearing the number 85. 2 other on-field officials are number 26, running away from us now. That's Mr. McCulloch from Canada. It's Cam McCulloch, number 26. And also one of 2 McRae's here. It's the elder McRae from Australia. It's Stephen McRae. He's the uncle, and his nephew David is here as well. CBO is a name familiar to all the UK lacrosse fans. Graham Blythe from England is wearing the 36 shirt. So you can see that Graham to our left there. And then bench manager, without wearing the stripy shirt. It's not that he didn't get the memo. The bench manager always wears the plain black shirt, and that is Andreas Mertens from Germany. So just as each of the teams here have to come together, players from different countries who maybe play the lacrosse domestically, so do the officials. And also so do the the interns here do an amazing job. When you have people who are playing in the festival, they may have a 7 a.m. game, play lacrosse, and then do a 10 or 12-hour shift afterwards, and do the same again the next day.
These are full days of lacrosse. Games all the way up till 9:45 p.m. at night, and as Dave said, starting off at 7 a.m. So clockwork on 6+ fields.
An incredible event put together. It's a lot shorter notice than normal. Loose ball push is called. It's interesting. I thought the ball was down. So they've actually just done a play on because Uganda came up with possession. That penalty would not be served. It would just be a change of possession.
This would be a great goal for Uganda. 2 in a row, make it 14-6.
The comeback starts now. And both coaches fully engaged.
Yep, that's a great dodge. A little shake to the right. To use the classic quote, one more step to greatness on that one, but great shake, getting a strong hand.
Again, the Uganda player is in the prone position, lying down. Hopefully he's okay. As he gets up, which is always good to see. Gets his helmet back on. I'm sure he's ready to go. But again, in international rules, if you have a player with an injury, he must come to the bench, at least for one possession. He can be subbed straight back on, but he needs to go to the bench and be a replacement player. He'll take his position as he's jogging back to the bench. That's good to see. Again, may just have the wind knocked out of him. So it'll be Uganda ball. On the left wing, passed up top. As we get the ball, dropped it first time, but it recovers, which is good. This is Patrick Oriana. A bit of a hop step. Goes for the split dodge left to right and then right to left. Great defense by Dominic Sandy there. Staying in position and not biting for those hesitation moves and fakes. Just keeping low. Again, similar to rugby or basketball. And from a defensive point of view, you want to watch the opposition's hips. Whatever direction his hips are pointed, biomechanically, that is the direction he will be moving. So don't worry about all the noise up top in the upper body.
Yeah, the hips, well put. Just like basketball and football.
Rugby is the other one.
Great place to point your eye line.
Again, there's so many almost like fundamental or base rules which seem completely simple and sensible if you know them, but if you don't know them and nobody tells you, it makes a huge difference.
Just like how the offensive and defensive guys are trapped or restricted to this side of the field, more positional based.
I won't mention the name of the country, but there was one of the newer European countries that was developing, and because they had so few numbers, they'd actually never played a full 10-a-side game, or 23-man-a-side. So they turned up to the European Championship, and because they'd never played the full game, they'd actually never had any need for the offside rule. So we're completely confused on the first game with just going constantly offside, 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 because they've never had the numbers to actually play a full game. They'd always just practiced around one goal.
Hopefully that was coachable and didn't set them back too much.
Just for the first game, or the first quarter of the first game. But it seems so simple, and it's like, well, of course everyone knows that, but unless someone tells you.
I would say, I agree with you, I would say that rule and the fact that you can get the ball back after shooting are probably the two most unique with lacrosse.
Yeah, I can't think of any other sport that does the where you retain possession after a shot.
It's really an incredible thing because it's the most coveted accomplishment in the sport, scoring a goal, and you can go for it with kind of a safety net.
Which is good and actually encourages offense to take outside shots and risk it. A little bit casual that time by French. He thought he had more time than he actually did. He may have ended up in the crease. So I think we have, yeah. If another man is down in the crease, hopefully he's okay. One of the rules is from the defensive side, if you have a defensive player that controls the ball and has taken the ball out of the crease, he can't then re-enter the crease with the ball. He can pass back to the goalie, but he can't actually carry it back in. And that's what happened on that particular play. As its guiding principles, Coram, the official timekeeper of the 2018 World Games. Learn more about Coram, it's with a C, at coram-watches.com as the game restarts. It's nice to see the player.
Great stop. That's a step-down shot for a great score on France's team, and that's a good morale booster.
We had the perfect angle here to see Quentin Norris, number 50 for France, really step in and put everything into that shot.
Yeah.
It was heading, like a beeline for the top corner, but the goalkeeper didn't just go with his stick, actually stepped to the ball as well.
Always a good move for the goalie. Cut down angle and knock down that shot.
There's number 24, limps off the field, gets a pat on the back, fist bump from Johnny Christmas. He's had a busy day, number 24. He's been in the wars.
Yeah, a lot of clears on his back, which no easy feat, similar to a punt return in football at times.
I'm trying to remember the phrase. He takes a licking, but it keeps on kicking. In England, we use the expression, he's as tough as old boots.
Tough as old boots, I like that. Might have to make a top 5 here, Dave. We've got make it, take it.
Tic-tac-toe.
That's right.
The penalty is now released. And again, we see the strategy from the coaches, where it's a lot shorter distance to get the man coming on the field from the centre spot rather from the bench. So what they'll do is they'll pull pull an attacking player off the field to sub on a defender, defensive midfielder, and as soon as that penalty release, instead of the person that's serving the penalty going back, they will release the midfielder from the centre spot, and it's probably a good maybe 5-10 yards shorter and closer. It's only a second or so quicker, but that second could be the difference between a goal or a vital check. Number 20 sprinting off the field. It's good to see. There's the starting midfield for France. Come on again. It's number 10, Dominic Sandy. Number 15, Dylan Snyder.
And Norris there, spreading the ball. Great stop.
Again, a very quick release, but this time the goalkeeper for Uganda.
Hydration!
Do you play lacrosse?
Anyway, as you rejoin us here in the fourth quarter, there's 8 minutes 55 seconds left in the game. It's Uganda 5, who are the home nation here today, although they are a long way from home, and France, the away team, are 14, so it's 14-5 to France.
It'd be huge for Uganda to get that 6th goal here. They've held France now at this 14 mark, which is tremendous for their defense. if they can pop in another one and even shorten that scoring gap, really great for their energy.
They've been putting the work in, definitely, which is great to see. Drawing penalties and occasionally coming up with dodges like that, where just a brilliant roll dodge at speed. And we see a player actually leaning into his defender, which you see from the Canadians will do a lot, and just trying to look for and a good good interception there. It's actually the defensive player. Yeah, good pressure by number 33. He's the most dominant defender for France. He had a tremendous game today. Got called for a couple of fouls, but he earned them, those penalties.
Yes.
A large gentleman.
It's a physical sport, and you know, sometimes you overcommit in one way or form, but being aggressive is a great part of this game and impactful.
Allez le bleu. I'm sure these guys were singing that a few times last night. I think it's safe to say this isn't a spoiler to say, if you're watching this at home, France won the World Cup last night in an amazing final, winning the game 4-2. Almost reminiscent of the 1970 final between Brazil and Italy. Apparently there were some incredible goals scored. And throughout, go on, sorry.
Yeah, if France can hold on here, it'll be 2 wins in 2 days that I'm sure they'll be feeling good about.
And if you were to, put them under the truth serum, or doing the polygraph test on which one they prefer, I think even as national team players, it may be hard to say that the World Cup of football doesn't quite just edge out.
Yeah.
Again, all these players, there's no professional players on the French team, unlike the football side. But all these athletes dedicated and try to be professional with a small p rather than the capital P. So they try to work and train as hard as they can while also maintaining the family and full-time jobs to be able to support the wife and kids. There's not many opportunities for the professional lacrosse player in Europe.
Sure.
You might get a few beers after a game.
Yeah. It's and it's not an easy, as we mentioned, Uganda, as an example, it's not in juggling your life and your family and your work. It's not that practice is necessarily down the block. It's sometimes a couple hours drive on top of that. So it's a lot of passion on the field.
Oh, I thought that was the one. Very last-minute trail check. And here we have transition for France.
Nice unselfish play there by the French team.
I like the play by the goalkeeper as well. Almost baiting him for a shot there. He's probably 16, 17 yards from goal. And the goalkeeper was anticipating the pass across, but also almost giving him that near post.
Sure.
Like, do you feel lucky? And it worked, because he passed it across, looking for the feed. And unfortunately, unfortunately for France, it went for a stray, but good tactical awareness by the Uganda defender. And the goalkeeper has been subbed out, so 11 takes a break for Uganda after a great game. That's Alan Amone, and stepping in, the left-hander.
It's well done by the goalie. Faced a lot of shots, and many of them not easy.
So James O'Keller will be in for the last 3 minutes 50, I believe. Yeah. Maybe his first time on the field. I've not been able to see the Uganda games, but they've had 5 in 5 days. It's an incredible work rate in any sport.
And as we see in the background, it looks like the Netherlands are getting ready. A fun part of the World Games. These fields are all back-to-back, so you really get a high concentration of lacrosse.
170 games brought to you from the ESPN family of networks. Not just live coverage for ESPN 1, ESPN 2, for the big games covered by the legends of commentary, and Quint Kessenich, Paul Carcaterra, and Anish Shroff, who are a great unit working together. But as well as those games, every single game is brought to you here, live coverage online via ESPN Plus or ESPN Select. But then after that, it's also available on demand, obviously with all time differences around the world.
It's fun to have people tuning in from all over the world. In addition to all the fans that have come out to support here, it's a special thing.
And I can pretty much guarantee that every single player would want to get these games on demand to actually look. And from a coaching perspective, they may not have the facilities or just purely the money to get a game, covered with the professional camera work here. Whereas suddenly when they go home, it's like, well, never mind, someone else showing it. You can actually see yourself playing.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to argue with the coach saying, no, I didn't do that. As there it is in glorious Technicolor.
Yup, you're absolutely right. It does hit home as a player when you see something and the coach draws up why it went wrong or why it went right.
I'm a big fan of the Iroquois, not just the way they play, but their whole concept and attitude to the game. Was fortunate enough, Neil Paulus, who's an incredible left-handed player in his prime for the Iroquois, but he coached the Dutch team last year at the European Box Championships, and he had what the Dutch players referred to as the greatest coaching session they've ever had, and he referred to as a truth session.
Yeah.
He they had played the same team back-to-back days, just the way of the look of the draw. And so he broke down the game film, spent about 2 hours, 2.5 hours on it, purely giving them the truth serum. And the next day, the same opposition, the Dutch team actually beat them.
Wow.
It was Netherlands versus Sweden, and all the players were just in awe on the detail and the sheer breadth and depth of knowledge. And it was like dropping pearls of wisdom. It's like no one had ever told them this or that before, but having the facility to say, well, this is you, this is what you did, this is what you should have done. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
It's as you said, it's undeniable.
Yeah. Oh, and Neil is obviously a small world in lacrosse, but his character, amiability, again, they play with the spirit. As we're a man down for number 12 for Uganda. That's Ronald Otin. Number 29. Long stick midfield. Again, we had a good angle on that one. As number 15. Saw that little target right in the coffee can, I believe as Kessenich referred to it. Or the upper 90, which again I'm not too familiar with. In the UK, we call it just the top corner.
Top corner, yeah.
Again, from football.
There's a lot of varieties that you can go with. Top shelf. Where does mom hide the cookies?
And there's another flag.
15 seconds.
It's almost the way they should throw the ball away and take the man up, or at least 5-on-5. Are they calling timeout? Well, because they brought it outside the restrainer. When you have the flag advantage, just like on a stall call, get it and keep it in. As soon as you step out the restrainer, you're deemed to be not attacking the goal. Again, it's a different rule under the college and high school rules, even the pro rules, where the ball can go down, it can go outside the restrainer, and until the opposition actually gets possession, it can go on indefinitely. Obviously, unless it gets out of bounds.
This has been a strong second half by Uganda, and something, you know, in the landscape of the tournament where you're playing all these games, and especially going home and building off of this. This is a great second half.
And again, there is the final whistle, full time, and the final score remains at France 14, so they really did shut them down in that last quarter. And Uganda 5. And again, with just really the level of competition, this Uganda team will be a far different, far tighter knit and better team by the end of the tournament. And in fact, in some ways, if they could have another World Championship starting then, they would perform a lot better. It really does bring the whole team together as, you know, almost brothers in arms. But that's all from us today. I hope you enjoyed the coverage, and check those out on the on-demand here from the trusted choice field. It's Dave Hallows on play-by-play and
Alex Weber.
on
Dave,
the
thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure.